Welcome to the first presentation in our series introducing valuable resources within the Donegal Studies collection at Central Library. These resources can help researchers in their quest to discover their family history. Today we will explore the 1618 Pynars Survey, a pivotal document in the history of the Ulster Plantation. First, we will look at the aims and objectives of this presentation. Before examining the historical context surrounding the implementation of the survey, knowledge of the historical context greatly enhances our understanding of events, provides a more accurate interpretation, and positions events within the larger historical narrative. Next, we will examine the survey itself, its purpose, the requirements placed upon settlers, and the impact of the survey. Following this, we will consider how Pynars Survey can benefit family history research and highlight some challenges one must consider. After a short recap, we will provide information on where you can access the document and provide contact details for any questions you may have. By the end of this presentation, you will have a better understanding of the historical context of Pynars Survey, the purpose, requirements and impact of the survey, the benefits of using the survey for genealogical research in Donegal, and the challenges of using the survey for family research. In 1618, Donegal was undergoing significant transformation due to the Ulster Plantation and broader changes in Ireland. In the aftermath of the 9 Years' War, Donegal, like much of Ulster, was recovering from the war's destruction and upheaval. The defeat of Gaelic chieftains and the flight of the Earls in 1607 left a power vacuum, creating opportunities for the English crown to assert control. The region's infrastructure was devastated, and the population suffered significant losses, leaving a landscape marked by desolation and uncertainty. Initiated by King James I, the Ulster Plantation aimed to reshape Donegal's demographic and political landscape. Land was redistributed to English and Scottish Protestant settlers to establish a loyal Protestant population and diminish the influence of native Irish Catholics. The settlers were expected to bring tenants, establish fortified settlements, and develop the land according to specific conditions, transforming Donegal's socio-economic fabric. Large tracts of land in Donegal were granted to settlers and undertakers, who were responsible for building castles, bonds or defensive walls, and houses. They also needed to bring over tenants from England and Scotland, altering the region's land ownership patterns and introducing new agricultural practices and village layouts. Many native Irish families in Donegal were displaced from their ancestral lands, leading to significant social disruption and resistance. Some native Irish remained as tenants or labourers on the newly granted lands, often under harsh conditions. This displacement fostered resentment and periodic unrest, as the cultural and social structures of Gaelic society were undermined. The introduction of Protestant settlers into Donegal's predominantly Catholic region created substantial religious and cultural friction. Protestant settlers established churches and communities, often segregated from the native Irish. These religious divides exacerbated tensions, contributing to a fragmented society. The new settlers introduced different agricultural practices aimed at increasing productivity and profitability. This included the cultivation of new crops and the implementation of more structured farming techniques. However, adherence to plantation requirements varied, with some areas seeing more intensive development than others. Efforts were made to build towns, fortifications, and roads to support the plantation and integrate Donegal into the English control system. New towns such as Ballyshannon and Lifford were established, serving as administrative and economic centres. These infrastructural developments aim to consolidate English control and facilitate trade and communication. Despite the plantation efforts, much of Donegal remained rural and agrarian. The economy was heavily dependent on farming and livestock, with the landscape dotted with small settlements and scattered farms. The rural nature of the region influenced daily life, with communities largely self sufficient and reliant on traditional practices. Traditional Gaelic clan structures and kinship ties continue to influence social organisation and daily life for many native Irish in Donegal. Clans such as the O'Donnells, though weakened, still played a role in the community's social fabric. Kinship networks provided a sense of continuity and support amid the broader changes. Overall, Donegal in 1618 was a region in flux, balancing between the remnants of Gaelic society and the new order imposed by the Ulster Plantation. The changes brought by the plantation had far-reaching impacts on land ownership, culture, and social dynamics. Pynars Survey of 1618 was commissioned to assess the progress and compliance of the plantation scheme, reflecting these broader political, social, and economic changes in Donegal and Ulster. The survey highlighted both the successes and challenges of the plantation, providing a snapshot of a transforming society. As mentioned previously, Pynars Survey of 1618 was an assessment commissioned by King James I to evaluate the progress of the Ulster Plantation in Ireland, specifically focusing on land grants given to English and Scottish Protestant settlers. Led by Nicholas Pynnar, the survey aimed to determine whether the settlers complied with the terms of their grants. Some of the conditions of the plantation grants included land development. Settlers were required to cultivate the land and make it productive by planting crops and raising livestock. This was to ensure the land was being used effectively and contribute to generating income for the Crown through taxes and rents. Grantees had to build houses for themselves to live in and defensive structures such as bonds to protect against potential attacks. This was to establish secure and permanent settlements. Settlers were also expected to bring in English and Scottish Protestant tenants to establish a population loyal to the Crown. These tenants would work the land, thereby increasing the Protestant presence in the area and reducing the influence of the native Irish Catholic population. So, what were the implications for the people of Donegal? Many native Irish were forced to leave their ancestral lands to make way for English and Scottish settlers. This caused major social and economic problems, disrupting their traditional way of life, severing community ties, and making it difficult for them to sustain their livelihoods. The arrival of Protestant settlers into mainly Catholic Donegal led to significant conflict and strained relationships. The new settlers brought different customs, languages, and religious practices, which changed the local culture and created ongoing tensions between the native Irish and the newcomers. New farming methods, such as crop rotation and improved livestock breeding, and infrastructure developments like roads, bridges, and fortified houses were introduced. However, these changes were not always successful or fully implemented, often due to resistance from the native population or a lack of resources, leading to mixed economic outcomes. The traditional Gaelic social structure, which was based on clan systems and communal land ownership, was challenged by the new systems of administration and land ownership imposed by the plantation. The new settlers introduced a more hierarchical and privatised landholding system, which altered the way society was organised and governed, reducing the power of traditional Gaelic leaders. Overall, Pynnar Survey highlighted the challenges and incomplete compliance with plantation requirements, prompting the Crown to take further measures to enforce settlement conditions and support the plantation process. There are a number of benefits of using Pynnar Survey of 1618 for researching family history in Donegal. These include detailed land records. The survey provides a comprehensive list of land ownership records detailing the names of all landholders, the size of their properties, and the exact locations of these lands. For anyone researching their family history in Donegal, this information is invaluable. It allows you to track the property holdings and movements of your ancestors over time, helping you to understand where your family lived and how their land ownership changed. This can uncover connections between different branches of your family and reveal the historical roots in specific areas of Donegal. The survey also documents the names of English and Scottish settlers who were granted land during the plantation period. This can be particularly beneficial if you are tracing your family history back to ancestors who might have migrated from Britain to Donegal. By providing details about where these settlers came from and where they settled, the records offer clues about your family's origins and movements. This can help you piece together a more complete picture of your family's history, including reasons behind their migration and the establishment of new family roots in Donegal. Although the survey primarily focuses on the new settlers, it also includes information about the native Irish tenants who continued to live on the land. For those researching family history in Donegal, this is especially useful as it provides insights into the continuity of local families who lived in the area before, during, and after the plantation period. By identifying these native residents, the survey helps you trace the lineage of families who remained in Donegal, offering a richer understanding of your family's long term presence in the region and how they may have interacted with the new settlers. There are a number of points to consider when using Pynars Survey for family research in Donegal. These include its limited coverage. The survey mainly documents land grants and the living conditions of English and Scottish Protestant settlers in the Ulster Plantation. It provides limited information about native Irish or earlier inhabitants of Donegal. Additionally, the survey does not cover all areas of Donegal, focusing primarily on the more prominent plantation regions. This means that if your ancestors were native Irish or lived outside these key plantation areas, you might find less information in this survey. Also, there are name and record variations. The names of people and places in the survey are often anglicised or spelled in various ways. This can make it difficult to connect these names with other historical records when researching your family history. You may need to consider different spellings and variations of names to find accurate matches in other documents. Finally, the survey provides only part of the historical record. To build a complete family history, you will need to cross reference it with other sources like parish registers, civil records, and later surveys. This helps fill the gaps and provides a more comprehensive understanding of your family's past. Using multiple sources ensures that you can verify information and get a fuller picture of your ancestors' lives in Donegal. So, to recap, the survey remains an important historical document as it provides detailed insights into the early stages of the Ulster Plantation and the social, economic, and demographic conditions of early 17th century Ireland. By providing specific names, locations, and descriptions of properties, Pynars Survey is a rich resource for anyone tracing family history in Donegal during the early 17th century, offering a direct connection to the period's historical records. We've also put together a short quick guide on the survey, which includes a little introduction on the survey itself and the benefits and challenges in using this survey for family research. Also included is the source information where the survey itself can be accessed, and there is a short video where Charlie Gallagher interviews local historian Sean Brown on the plantation's impact in East Donegal and the cultural changes in West Ulster. The survey can be accessed in George Hill's An Historical Account of the Plantation in Ulster at the commencement of the 17th century, 1608 to 1620. It's a reference only copy and its due classification is 941.56, but it can also be accessed online free of charge at archive.org. So if you wish to pay us a visit or you have a question, you can do so at the contact information on the screen. Central Library in Letterkenny has an extensive collection of books, journals and other material relating to genealogy and family history. While we do not have primary materials such as records of births, deaths and marriages, our family history resources can help get you started on your search for that elusive ancestor. It is recommended that you contact the library in advance to book an appointment, as some items are available on microfilm format only, and some newspapers are also held in storage. All other libraries in Donegal have smaller local history collections relevant to their area and may be able to provide the information you are looking for. You can also get started on your family history research by getting a copy of Your Donegal Family, a guide to genealogical sources, which is available free of charge in all libraries, or it can be downloaded in PDF format from the library website at donegalibrary.ie. We hope you found this little video on Pynars Survey of 1618 useful. Thank you for your time.